must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
For that show of the morning by Miriam Ogutu. Good morning, Africa. Thank you very much. Although we did not exhaust fully the topic, we shall return, revisit it at another time, most likely tomorrow, when the Super Tuesday is over and we have counted our counties. The show this morning now is the editor's memo. I have four points. One, the squabbles in opposition in Kenya. Does it bring unity or disunity? Two, does BBI help devolution to grow? The need for more money. If you can take 35% back to the rural areas, you would have solved the poverty that works around Kenya, in especially marginalized places. Three, the redemption strategy, of which President Uhuru Kenyatta wanted to leave as a legacy. The healing, have people healed? Do people still remember the past? Does the past haunt Kenya? The editor's memo says yes. The past haunts Kenya. Most people have not healed, including Professor Gerard Onyari. Yesterday, he said, is my colleague, he said he has not yet healed, he has not yet forgiven everybody, anybody. People were cut, people have not been remorseful. So as Kenya healed, is there reconciliation? Is it genuine? Is there accountability? Is there accountability genuine? How many cases of corruption? How many people of corruption have we locked up in the cells in a committee? How many are serving sentences? If that is the case, I don't see. The editor's memo says it is not there. It's not there. The healing process is not there. We need to start it now before we talk about another election. The last point in the editor's memo, which is now, and I hand it over to you, all those 4 points, the role of the media in creating the narrative. Someone on the panel brought that role, and that was Engineer Ngatia. Thank you. The role of the media. Is the media in Kenya shaping the narrative that the people, Kenyans, want? The editor's memo says no. The main media, the mainstream media is not shaping the narrative. It is shaping the narrative of politicians who want to take power of presidency. Presidents. If you mention presidents in this country, everybody will run for it. Those, especially those who have been used to running and failing and not getting it, and those who want it so dearly. So the editor's memo finds those 4 points, squabbles in opposition that could ruin President Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy, devolution, money going back to the rural area to remove poverty. We find that very good. Therefore, most of the constituent counties will vote yes. Redemption strategy. Are people healed yet? Professor will tell you, and I will begin. I will hand the baton back to Miriam. Those are my 9 minutes. I will not speak until in the next 20 minutes to allow time for the preparation of the other show on the top of the hour. So let's go at it. Those are the points that I feel that every morning we should summarize and come out with as our way forward, whether we work on them tomorrow or today or any other time. But those four squabbles, Kalonzo, Mudavadi, BBI, money going to the real area. Can Isiolo refuse that money? Can Wanjiri, Masabit, Samburu, Nairobi refuse that money? Sure. When you are removing money from, you take your tax to the central government, then they are bringing you back 35% of it. You refuse it? Can it? Then redemption strategy. Are people healed? Are really people in Kenya healed? Have you ever stepped on somebody in a nightclub in Kenya, in a restaurant, accidentally? And I think all of you have done that. As you are climbing your matatu, you knock his leg or you step on his leg. Have you seen the way they look at you? The way the man looks at you, you feel like, I'm sorry, please, like a kneeling. Are people healed, really? Are people healed, or is it cosmetic? How do we help the president to secure the legacy of unity of purpose? That is my submission on the editor's memo, those 4 points. Miriam.
All right, thank you so much. And I think on the first point, we already went through that, so I don't think the panelists will have to go through that again, the squabbles in opposition. So perhaps any of you could pick on the other 3 points that Doctor has brought out, that is the BBI and the role it will play to ensure that revenue is distributed among the 47 counties in a more appropriate manner, and redemption. Does the past still haunt Kenya? And of course, the role of the media in shaping the narrative. So I'll start with our guest this morning. Our guest this morning, Shem and Derry. Any of the points there that stands out for you, and what would you like to say about it?
Unmute. Shem, unmute, yes.
Okay. The point that I have seen that is very strong is the third one, the redemption, the forgiveness. I believe very bad things happened in the post-election violence in those years. Some things that are very traumatic. You can't expect them to be forgiven just like that. And knowing the politicians we have and the Kenyans, obviously we are coming to a political time when politics will be very active, and I'm sure they will mention those things. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, if they mention, the victims will still feel very bad about it. But they will mention, so I don't know what. Mm-hmm.
So Shem, because it's clearly a lot of Kenyans have not healed from some of these things that have happened. So if you were to be asked today, as how perhaps as a country should we go around finding a real healing to the victims of some of these horrendous things that have happened in the history of this country, what would your suggestion be? Okay, we think we have...
I can help in that, Miriam.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Abdi. And please make it very short.
Yeah, fine. First of all, historical, redemption is something which has been there. And as far as, this region is concerned, we are trying our best to heal, Miriam. We are doing our best to heal. Indeed, devolution has really healed a part of the wound a lot. Being marginalized since independence for over 40 or 50 years is something which is not a walk in the park. But 8 years down the line, we are healing from it. We forgive one another. You remember very well the late Ambassador Bedel Kiplagat, who was responsible for the massacre of 5,000 people in Wagala, that is in Wajir County. He came out very publicly and even confessed that indeed he might not be guilty, but he's responsible because he was the one who was in charge of that operation. And the communities in my area, I remember when he appeared before the committee, And I mean, he appeared before the public under the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission, and people even slaughtered some goats for him and told him, fine, we blame the head of the state back then. We might not blame you because you are just a servant. And people have healed Miriam. People are building memorials. People are building, a place of remembrance. It's all about redemption. If it really happened in the advent of, post-genocide Rwandan time, then it can happen also in Kenya, Miriam. Thank you.
All right. So I think there's only need to be a will there to really address some of these things. Thank you so much, Abdi. Javan.
Professor.
Miriam, on that, once you offend someone, you must genuinely say, I'm sorry. Genuinely say, I'm sorry. Yesterday, I was listening to the petition in the Supreme Court of Ghana. And one of the Attorney General, Miriam, former Attorney General, was found contempt of court. But the man was bold enough, Miriam, to take a pen and write that he is very sorry and very unfortunate that this one has happened. He was pardoned by the Supreme Court. He was not charged by contempt, Miriam. So when it comes with on the conciliation and forgiveness and the hearing, Miriam, people must be genuine. But if people are threatening us up to now, that they want us to force for them by force, Miriam, then we have not done it. And Miriam, one of the things in this country, and this is where sometimes I find problem with the government, why can't the government implement reports which have been carried out? We have got truth and reconciliation, which was shared by the late Ambassador Beto Kiplagat. Let them implement, that is what's implementable, Miriam. Let them not just ignore. We have got the Ndung report of the Land Commission. That is implemented. So that's what could make people heal. When people see that something is happening, when people can see people coming forward and say, it is unfortunate, it happened, it will never happen again. That's all that what we need, Miriam.
All right. Not sugarcoating, just taking at issues as they are, talking about them and finding true healing, and people coming out and apologizing for those who should. All right. Thank you so much. Ambassador, Engineer Ngatia.
Hi, Miriam. Thank you for that chance. I have something I would want to say, more so on healing. And I think in our last discussion, we talked of the fear of the unknown. And if there is anything that we call poor leadership, is a leadership that manifests fear of the unknown. Because you do not lead in fear. We cannot talk of a leader who is a scared leader leading us. They're taking us nowhere. We have issues that are documented, just like Professor was talking about. We have reports. All of them are documented. But we have this, and it manifests in everything that we do in this country. We will not deal because we are scared of the outcome. But until you do it, you will never realize that fear that you're talking about. So it remains fear. We have good countries that have actually been in even worse situation than we are or than we have been. A very good example is Rwanda. Rwanda went through genocide that had a huge number of people die compared to what we had in Kenya here. Their reasons could have been different from why we had the same pre- and post-election violence in Kenya. But the offenses are similar. Professor says he's not healed, not because he has a very different thing than that happened in Rwanda. It is similar in the sense that he lost a friend, he lost a family member. He could have gotten a family member misplaced or displaced from their residence or their farm. I mean, all those things must be addressed. Now, the fear that we have stops us from healing. We will never heal until we address the issue. Secondly, I'll just mention, even if you look at the rate of corruption in this country, we will never deal with corruption until we deal with corruption. I don't know if I'm communicating into that. The fear that we manifest in dealing with corruption abets corruption in this country. So we will never address corruption and we will never run away from corruption because we fear from addressing corruption. Because simply, we will touch Ruto. Or we will touch Raila in something that happened some years back. Or we will touch Uhuru. That fear stops us from addressing corruption and now abets it in growing. The new generation today adapts corruption as a way of life. So healing should not be taken, it should not be taken lightly. We must start addressing. If it is a good report, why did we have a commission? Why did they sit? Were they qualified enough to sit and do such a report? What were the findings? Were they legit? Were they wrong? Were they, what do you call it? Were they correct as per the findings on the ground? So if they were, then why do we bring in the usual fear in implementing the same report? Because what we are doing is that we wanted to solve a problem, found out exactly what ailed us, found out exactly what went wrong. Then we say, no, if we did that, we will offend a particular individual. So the whole country remains not healing or remains complaining. Time has come for us to deal with healing. We must sit and address the culprits face to face. They must tell us they are sorry. They must accept that they did what they did. I mean, we will not sit here and keep on talking of elections over and over again. Even the BBI we are talking about over and over again. But at the end of the day, if I know somebody who killed my brother, I will still look at him as a murderer. Yes. He will never be a brother, and I will never look at him as ready to work with him. So the country is ailing, and it must be insisted on a daily basis. There is need for a healing mechanism in this country. We have reports that people they don't want to see. So why do we want BBI so badly? And we forget these reports that are sitting in parliament or whatever offices they are. BBI is as good as that other report. We must pass BBI, but BBI must also address the issue of the reports that have been checked before and they have remained in files and folders. Let's not cheat ourselves and think that it will just heal automatically. One thing that will heal this automatically, the only thing is that today we say any corrupt leader or anybody who's found to be corrupt will be hung. Everything else will check itself.
Sure.
Keep here and will it be shot? Will it be shot? I find
they will continue stealing from us. Somebody steals today, 1 billion shillings can actually today make a difference in Mandara.
Yes.
It can save life. It can do a hospital. It can supply medicine. It can actually pay doctors. Those are lives we are saving. But if somebody goes home with 2 billion shillings, he has gone home with 2 hospitals, he has gone home with 3 maternities, he has gone home with 6 schools, all these people are deprived of their rights. So they will die in poverty. They will actually die in diseases. They will actually die of war. Now, if we allow such individual to kill in masses, and then think that we will politely get out of this mess and heal and forgive each other, we are cheating ourselves. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Engineer Ngatia. Yes, they are taking care of it from here, so they are doing that. Thank you so much. Thank you, so Engineer Ngatia, bringing out some very crucial points there. How to deal with corruption is to actually deal with corruption, and how to find healing is to get an effective mechanism and how to find healing in this country. I don't know, what are your thoughts, Javan Karanja?
Thank you, Miriam, for that. And I agree with all the statements made by Engineer Victor Ngatia. He has said it very well. And Miriam, maybe what I can say is that as a country, we have come from a very dark past. We know what happened in 2007. And for us to heal, we must address this issue. And I saw the other day when the DCI was getting reports of new threats from Rift Valley. People came out and behind the story, and the story collapsed because people don't really want to address this issue, and they talk of opening the woods. Miriam, we must open the wood so that we heal completely. The wood might be covered, but inside it is rotting. Therefore, we must address this issue once and for all. And if it means opening old wood so that we can heal completely, then let it be, because we can't sit down as a country. When you go to Rift Valley, and I agree with Victor, and I'm a witness of the same. You see people who are very bitter. When you go to some places in Munyaka, in Eldoret, you go to some places in Yamombi, in Eldoret,
even northern
people
Kenya
are very bitter because they lost properties and they see people in the same village occupying your property, occupying your land, and you can't go back to get the land. And people are talking of reconciliation. How will you reconcile when you see your neighbor milking your cow? How will you reconcile when somebody else is farming your land? That one will not happen. We must address this issue, and especially in Rift Valley, where people lost property, things must come in order, and the leaders who are capable for that, they must come out openly and seek for forgiveness, because what these people are harboring is a revenge. They are waiting at the right time when they can go back and revenge. If we go bad and we have an election violence in Rift Valley, you'll see it will be more messy than it was in 2007 because of the revenge and the bitterness that is in people's heart. Therefore, we must come out and have a channel where these people can come and sit down, even with the perpetrators of the same, and they have a talk and they have a drink of coffee so that these people can go back. And if it means getting their lands back, then let it be, so that these people will heal and heal completely. That is the route that we should take. And Miriam, it is even worse that somebody somewhere seated is threatening people with new threats in 2022, Miriam. We can't sit down and wait for a repeat of 2007. And that is why we are trying to bring all these BPI so that we heal and we heal completely. But that we must come and address the issue. Who are victims of 2007, 1992, 1997 violence, so that they come together and sit and they have a negotiation and they pour out what is in their heart so that they can heal and heal completely, and we can shut the way forward for our country as one team. But we can do that when we sideline the pain, when we still have people in IDP's camp in Laikipia, we have people in IDP's camp in Nyandarua. How will these people heal, Miriam? We must come and address this issue so that these people will heal and get some land where they can settle, and the government should come in this issue and everybody else so that we can issue. But the best thing that we can do, Miriam, and the best option that we have is we have a future that we can protect. We have a future that we can build on. We have a future that we can protect from all this kind of violence, because we can build a better country by having good mechanisms that will protect reoccurrence of such events in future. Thank you.
Very well said. Thank you so much, Evan. Doug, I don't know if Douglas Kirimi has rejoined back. Douglas.
Douglas. Douglas.
Thank you, Miriam. And also, we need to understand that. Yes, Dr. Amir.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Douglas.
Your system is.
We need to understand that as a country, we need to also depart from what we are experiencing.
All right, we seem to be having a problem there with Douglas's reception, so maybe he may not be in a position to give us his thoughts right now. So I'll just take us back to Doctor.
Miriam, I want to thank the panel. They have done it. You are, especially out of all these points, there's one thing you have raised today, and I've learned something out of it. One of the things I've learned is that you cannot fight corruption when it is corruption being used to fight. Miriam, I have picked that. I had not seen that point. The system of fighting corruption is already corrupt. So how do you fight corruption? The second thing I've picked from this show, of which the points were picked out, one of them is healing. Are people healed? No. People are not healed. And the third thing I've picked is we fear to confront the truth. We fear to confront the truth. In a minute or so, Miriam, let me tell you, in Uganda, when I went to see Konyi, the first thing I told Konyi when he threatened us on the first day, he tried to arrest 10 of my friends. I told him, my friend, you have seen your mother recently. But I, Dr. Matanga, I've not seen my mother for 22 years. Your mother was brought by helicopter because one of the demands that Konyi wanted was to see the mother before he can begin peace talks. The mother was flown, bought new clothes, everything, with money, flown to see the son. So when Konyi arrested all my delegation and said, I'm the only one left who is very good, I turned on him and started saying, boss, you are talking of you have not seen Uganda. I have not seen Uganda for 23 years. And my mother is there. And I have the money to airlift my mother. But she doesn't want because she's a mother's union. My father, when he was killed, left 11 other siblings. And these were small people. And my mother said, I cannot leave this home until they go through the university and other places. Then I can go anywhere you want me, but I can't. So if you don't confront the fear when you are solving a problem of healing to get a redemption, if you don't confront the real problem, which everybody fear when it comes to Wagara massacre, people go under, dash under. When it comes to the 2007, have you seen the way when you bring a topic of 2007 to work envelope, you want to remove it, Miriam, they tell you, the Attorney General, Mr. Gifu Mugai, came to court. I was surprised. Yet I was helping this country, Kenya. I was surprised when the Attorney General stood in court across before the three judges and said they oppose Dr. Matsanga's suggestion of expanding work envelope. You today, as we end, and we go to we prepare ourselves for the next, you today see how the work envelope is gonna play us. You today see that coming? You think this woman is gonna not leave notes that the new prosecutor will embark on a process of tabling us in court one by one? Do you see a process where you might be traveling in Spain and you are stopped by police in Spain to say you have some charges to answer? Do you see that? We have not healed. The Rwanda Gacaca courts are not here. Ngatia, you are right. Miriam, the courts are not here until we get those courts here, where I say I was very happy. I killed Miriam's family, but I am now living near Miriam. I'm with you. Don't refuse to give me food. I'm very sorry. In Rwanda, it happened. In Kenya, I tell you, they are still, you can see from Karanja and Ngatia. These are Karanja, Ngatia, and Musa. Have you seen already? And then Onyari. Onyari's district or Onyari's tribe was the most hit in that area. Heat, more kisses died. And they have not received serious apology. But people now go with politics and tell them, don't worry.
In fact, during the funeral of the deputy governor for Kisii, that's what Honorable Simbarat was saying, that we have not forgiven you. We have not forgotten.
But because
was enough to cause war.
We need the public courts. That is, Miriam, that's the end of my talk today. Public courts, public hearing, public hearing, public redemption through BBI. That's the point I was making the whole morning. I'm sorry for having taken your time.
Very well.
And I think we prepare for the next program, Miriam, which I will assist ably so that you don't get so much tired. I am sure you need a rest a bit. I will also share the anchoring. I'm sorry for having taken much of your time. I always like everybody. And if I have annoyed anyone, I'm sorry. And I want to say sorry. And for me, my sorry ended a long time ago. I eat with people who slaughtered my wife. Yes, my wife was killed. But when the man who raped my wife, when the government was overthrown in 1985, raped my wife, and came in with a gun and said, I want to test what Matanga was testing. I'm telling you, 6 months later, Ngatia, the guy arrived at Canoni House. You remember there was a refugee office there. I don't know whether Ngatia was a grown up. Canoni House near High Selassie. Yes. All refugees arrived there. Captain Ogwang arrived one morning having been overthrown by Museveni. And the first man he saw, he landed in the hands, was Matanga, whom he raped my wife, my late wife. He stole all my, in fact, the most interesting thing, Mr. Ogwang had my briefcase. He was having the briefcase in the hand at Canoni House. And when he saw me, he fell down and started crying. He thought now, me having been in Kenya first, I would arrest him. No, I went to him, I said, I will help you to process your papers so that they give you the ID. You know that blue ID of UN. I knew Mr. Chaponda upstairs. Chaponda said, who is this? I said, this was a former soldier in the army, UNLA. Then Chaponda said, but in your application, you have said as soldiers headed by this same man went to your house. I said, please forget about that, don't bring that, give him the ID. And perhaps that's why God has kept me alive. I tell you, my dear, I'm telling you, when I told my wife home that I have helped Mr. Ogwang, she said, by then there were no mobile phones. She said she would not speak to me again. How do you help that man? But I said, Mom, this guy is now useless. He's like us eating the same 1 shilling chips and a piece of chicken. That was one shilling 50. If you don't have 1 shilling and 50, you die hungry. So that's healing, Miriam. Thank you. That's healing. And the healing is healing. When somebody says sorry, take it seriously. He's sorry. When he said, I'm very sorry, forgive me, forgive them. That's why Northern Uganda is very peaceful today. Not a single boy. All my boys that I brought back from LRA are the cracker units. Musa, don't kill me. They are the crack units cracking very much. Cracking Al-Shabaab.
I understand.
They are tough fighters.
I understand.
Thank you very much. God bless you. We see you at the top of the hour, Miriam. Thank you. Back to you, Destiny.
All right. Thank you so much. We see you at 11:04 diplomatic league. So we shall be looking at Africa integration. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.